Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lucky, our president of our Chalk and Duster Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much, Bindu. It was an amazing session regarding mindfulness. Since I'm a mindset coach, I'm also learning from all the masters. And I tend to practice it along with giving these teachings to my students and clients, especially the working professionals in the corporates. So let's go ahead today with another second session, which is understanding and developing mindset. And welcome all to all our guests over here, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. So this is the second session which we have today regarding the Leadership Summit. The slogan goes service, value, and growth. Today, we have a great personality with us, and she has a tagline: our action creates our karma creates our destiny, and our dharma cleanses of the past karma. She is a managing director of Mind Avenues Potential Systems Private Limited. She is a success strategist in the strategies options solution, effective psychological counselor for child, youth, and adults. She's a proven track record in learning and development, successful designing and implementation of educational reforms, meaningful R&D in academics. She has also published academic books, self-help books, and educational DVDs. And most important, she is an effective NLP practitioner. So I would like to call upon our guest for today, who is none other than Dr. Damera Vijayalakshmi, Understanding and Developing Mindset. Understanding and Developing Mindset, Dr. Damera Vijayalakshmi. Over to you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. Thank you. So thank you for the beautiful introduction. It's a bit elaborate, but thank you so much. I'd like to congratulate Bindu on the previous session. She conducted a very wonderful session. It was awesome, and mindfulness is something so important to each and every person to come out of different challenges they face in life. Today, my topic is understanding our mindset. Now, whatever I'm presenting today is something out of my own research, which I've been doing for the past 35 years, specifically for the past 9 years, where I've intensely researched on the psychology of a person and why they behave the way they do. So today, for all the participants, this is an open challenge. Yes. I would want you to listen to the session carefully, and I would be giving you 8 kind of personality types or the mindset that you are born with. So please keep a note on which style suits you best and which styles you also have. So when we go through the session, at the end, when we have our discussions, then we could try to unravel the mystery of how to develop ourselves and how to change our mindsets, though we are, inborn to think in a particular way or, have an attitude towards life in a particular way. So I request the host to kindly share the PPT.
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Raj, can you help me with the sharing rights, please?
And as they share it, I'd also like to congratulate Toastmasters for, this wonderful job of reaching out to people, having such good topics where we can all learn from each other. It's my privilege to be here. I didn't say that at the start, but really it's a privilege. And I'm so thankful to Bindu for even introducing me to this group. My pleasure.
I've shared the rights.
Okay, thank you. Let me check. Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Not yet. Yes,
Yeah,
you can just start the slideshow. Yeah. So at the outset, the topic that I have chosen for today is understanding who we are and then developing who we think we are. Next slide, please. So basically, there are 8 kinds of personalities. Let me go directly to the topic, but I want you to be very observant about each of the traits of these 8 types, because we could have one or more than one of these types. So first, if we identify what is our dominant type and what other types do we seem to have. Some could have just one solely single type. Some could have a combination of them. Just make a note of what you feel applies to you, because then we could discuss it at the end, because we face challenges in life based on which type we belong to. They have a unique set of strengths and weaknesses, potential and challenges. So if you see, the 8 kind are the secretive mindset, the imaginative mindset, the holistic mindset, critical mindset. Next slide, please. The intuitive mindset, the analytical mindset, the connecting mindset, and the focused mindset. So these are the 8 categories. Let us look at each one of those categories in detail. Next slide, please. Yeah. The first kind of mindset is the secretive mindset. So these are certain, it's a questionnaire that I have created for understanding the mindset. So this could apply to all of you. If all items belong to you and you feel it makes sense, then that item is yours. You have the secretive mindset. So I am a person who likes to be in my own personal space. These are people who are, very introverted, very secretive. They like to be alone. They don't like to mingle with a lot of people. I express only when I'm in my comfort zone, only when I'm in my safety. I am hiding. But when I feel comfortable, I come out and interact with people. But I don't like to interact all the time. So maybe the mindset of an introvert, they're more closed. They want to be within themselves. I am a keen observer. Though this person is an introvert and within themselves, they tend to observe each and every small, minute detail that happens around them. I am emotional, but take time to express myself, because unless I feel safe, then only I come out to express. I am skilled and good at what I do, because these people are very adept at doing things manually, skillfully. And I like to be financially independent. I like to be on my own. I like to stand strong, and I like to earn my own money. So if all these traits belong to you, and you could say that you have a secretive mindset. Okay, next slide, please. So people who have this mindset are people who are very loyal, very dedicated. I mean, you can read those points. I don't want to repeat those points again. But if you understand the secretive mindset, they are people who don't like to express or expose their ideas. They'd rather keep it within themselves. And because they bottle up or they keep all their thoughts to themselves, sometimes they are overpowered by the emotion they have within themselves. So they are like a volcano and they build on themselves. There's a whole lot of anxiety within themselves and they are ready to explode when it is overloaded. So these are people who are, very quiet. So people looking at them would not even understand that these kind of people would blow up one fine day. But when they really blow up, they have a whole load of thoughts, whole lot of words, and they would, comment on people of something that happened long, long, long ago. And people around them would be worried, why was she so blunt? Why does she remember small, minute things, he or she? Things that happened in the past. So you are a person like a sponge where you absorb everything in the environment. And when the time comes, like a sponge. Only when you press it, do you know how much of water has been internalized. So that is the time when you start expressing. And once you start expressing, there's no stopping. And the truth will come out so bluntly, your perspective to the truth, that sometimes people will be taken aback, because till then this girl or this boy is quiet, introverted, very, not exposing their thoughts and feelings. Suddenly they come out and blurt out things. So in a way, it's a strength, because these people are very loyal, dedicated, obedient, perfect. They will do their tasks so beautifully, very good employees. And they, every paisa worth they would work on. That is the strength. But the weakness of these kind of people are that they appear to be non-emotional, but very emotional inside, very closed, very rigid, very stubborn. They don't like to share their ideas. And sometimes they're very straightforward. But the biggest problem that they have is anxiety, because they bottle up all their feelings. And suddenly one fine day when they can't take it anymore, it explodes. So normally these people they don't expose till it's a bit too late. And then that becomes an issue. So when these people keep talking, expressing, it's very good. But again, they don't know how, they don't feel comfortable sharing, expressing. And so they tend to be rigid and hold themselves within. This is the secretive mindset. Okay, this is one kind. See, because I just heard before I entered, there was a mindset coach. So I don't know what the whole world is talking about mindset and whether you have a particular logic behind what you're saying. But this is what I have experienced, I have learned, I have practiced on. It's a personality type. And so the mind is set in a particular pattern, and it's very difficult for these people to change or transform. So it's a challenge, but when they can transform, when they decide to change. Okay. The second mindset is the imaginative mindset. So these kind of people are almost a little bit of the flavor of the secretive mindset, but these people are more of, in an internal world, lot of imagination. They start visualizing things. They're very passionate about what they think about, very idealistic. So that terms would be, I am good at visualization and imagination. I like to think creatively about things that interest me. My thoughts are more idealistic than practical. I tend to be passionate about my ideas. I like to implement my ideas if accepted. And I tend to enjoy being in the comfort zone of my own imaginary world. So these are people who have beautiful ideas, sometimes maybe not practical, but they are in that world of, a lot of creativity, a lot of passion, filled with a lot of energy. Next slide, please. So if you see the potential, these are the people who are visionaries, who have ideas about things. They can solve problems. So when triggered in the right direction, they would come out with those beautiful ideas. So they're very dedicated, plenty of ideas, and think beyond the actual practicality of things. This could be the potential, but there are also a lot of challenges, because being too imaginative, sometimes they go beyond the boundary and they're not practically implementable. So when people don't receive your ideas properly, then you tend to have a challenge. And they get carried away. They don't implement their ideas. So what happens? They get stuck when they have to bring the ideology to practicality. And they have to be given an opportunity to express. And these people most often have delusions. They mistaken thinking about whatever they feel is the truth. So this imaginative mindset is a certain kind of people, a group of people who have these sort of traits, who have all the traits that I have mentioned previously. Only those would, see, all of us are imaginative. It's not that, this is belonging to everyone or a few, but there are people who are specifically, typically belonging only to this category. So these are people who are always in dream world. And, you have to bring them back to reality. You see a lot of children also in this problem, because parents have these problems with children. People who are older maybe could manage to implement their ideas practically, but when it comes to children, they don't know how to control their thoughts. So sometimes it goes haywire. Next slide. The third kind of mindset is the holistic mindset. These people are very loving, giving, easily influenced by the world around. They can't say no. So they're very sensitive. They get hurt very easily. They're so democratic. So they have to consider everyone's opinion before they make a decision. Very, very sensitive. And when it comes to themselves, they're very adjusting. And they're also escapist mindset because they'd rather go away from the problem rather than approach the problem. So most often they'll say, it's okay, chhod de, no problem, it's okay. And rather than take action against the person who hurt them, they would rather forgive and forget rather than go forward. But at the same time, when something happens to someone close to them, or someone comments on their friends or their family, then immediately they become highly aggressive and highly protective. What rule they have for themselves is not the same as the rule they have for others. Because for them, they always want to help others, want to be more loving and giving to others rather than to themselves. They are not the selfish kind, so they are more of the sacrificing kind. Next slide, please. So if you see the pros and cons, all the democratic, holistic, now this kind of mindset is actually, always smiling, very good. So they don't have boundaries and they allow people to come within their boundary, manipulate them, use them. They somehow become the doormat because they can't say no. And afterwards they raise their head and say, oh my God, I was cheated. Because you allowed them to come in, that you got taken for a ride. So these kind of people tend to get taken for a ride normally. And the challenges, because they are escapists, they feel victimized, they can't say no. They're always very sacrificing. And these kind of people tend to have the psychosomatic illness because they can't, whenever they have a problem, they'll say my hand is aching, stomach is paining, leg is paining. So the complaint would go on to a physical ailment, somatic, but the trigger would be the psychological aspect because they don't have the guts to face, confront, and fight. Okay, this is the holistic brain who's very loving and giving. The smiley there displays what kind of a personality they have. Next slide. The critical mindset. This is the opposite of the holistic mindset because these people are highly critical. They will observe each and every minute, small detail. Please keep noting all the personality traits or mindsets you have and which one is the most dominant of all. Okay, we could discuss that at the end. So a critical mindset would be a person who is stubborn, rebellious, thinking out of the box, wanting to be unique, different, hates to be one among the crowd. Okay, I want to look at everything from a different perspective. But I fear failure because these people are scared that they would be ridiculed or they will not be accepted. So these people hide behind a mask, but they actually want to be different. They will talk things which are very, blunt truth. They will pass judgments. They will find fault. Especially close family members will see this inside person coming out. But when it comes to friends, these are on their best behavior. Very good, very nice, very acceptable outside. But inside, they would have all this. They would question everything around them. If you look at the next slide, you'll see the pros. They are the out-of-box thinkers. They want to be different. Yeah. So they are out-of-box thinkers, want to be unique, a philosopher mindset, knowing exactly, what shortcut to do to reach wherever they need to reach. There is a strong need to be accepted by the world, and they're very obliging. But again, that is again a mask they put because inside they are critical of everybody, but outside they would be so nice to people and to society. But the challenges they face is they're always finding fault with things. They're critical and negative. They are rebellious and stubborn. So people, they can't get along with a few kind of people because they'll rub them the wrong way. Very blunt with their words, very aggressive, and they have a little eccentric attitude. So they are very extreme. They totally act different. So eccentric to the world because they don't understand this mindset, which has everything. They're looking at everything from a different perspective. So the mindset will be different. And if you also observe, as I am talking about the different distinct types, when Bindu was talking about mindfulness, no matter which mindset you belong to, you should be able to practice mindset. But can you see the battle that goes on within a person? Because there's a whole load of combination of traits inside, which is blocking them from being that mindful person. So if you can connect the previous session to this, it would be even more powerful. Next slide, please. The intuitive mindset. These are people who just, either when they hear something or see something, they just seem to know. Okay, they have a strong sixth sense, and they know about things even before they actually happen. They feel it, they know it, but they don't say it because they're scared. What will people say? Like, sometimes it could not be positive. It could be negative. Someone passing away, some accident, some death, something else, some crisis. So when you think of such negative things, you'll think, no, I'm thinking wrong, and they'll keep it quiet. But actually, they would have had an idea about what was going to happen. They would have had an intuition. Okay. So these people are very instinctive. They just react when they are triggered. And these people are also very lucky, because at times of crisis, it will be like a miracle that someone will come and save them out of the problem that they are facing. And there is some spiritual connect to these people, because I see that divine intervention with these kind of people. Next slide, please. So if you see the strengths, the intuitive, instinctive, sixth sense, electrical stimulation, because it's like on the switch, and not having the current, it will just happen. So that is the speed in which you trigger them, they're off, on. They're very lucky, and they're saved in times of crisis. But again, the challenges is that they keep getting triggered. Before they know it, they're so impulsive, they get to action. And they are torn between knowing something and actually doing it, because what they feel and what they have to do outside, they're triggered. So they don't think twice. And they can be anxious, they can be depressed, they can be impulsive, they can get angry, because depending on what triggers them, they would take off. But this is more on the intuitive level. Next slide, please. The analytical mindset. These sort of people are like, they know it all. I can understand things from all angles. I am better at giving advice than using it for myself, because these kind of people tend to be very good. They are 360-degree thinkers. So they will give advice to everybody, perfect advice to them. People would, take their advice very gratefully. But when it comes to themselves, they are stuck. Okay, because they can't make a decision, because they want to make the best decision. And whenever they want to make the best decision, they have so many options that they are stuck with, should I do this or this or this, which is better? So their mind will keep fluctuating, 1 minute this, 1 minute this, 1 minute this. So their mind keeps moving up and down. And if by chance the decision they take, which they don't take, they normally get influenced by others and make decisions. But if they make a decision and something goes wrong, the first thing they do is blame somebody else. She said this, so that's why this happened. They said this, that is why this happened. So there's a tendency to play the blame game, not be happy because they want the best. And they also have mood swings, because if things go well, they are on top of the world. If things don't go well, they fall. And they want to be unique, critical, and analyze the world around them. So if you actually see, this analytical mindset will have the loving, giving personality of the holistic mindset, and that of the critical mindset, which is the negative thinker. So the positive and the negative makes the analytical mindset. So if you look at the pros and cons, the pros are that they're very loving, democratic, serving, advising, helpful, protective, more of the holistic mindset. But if you see the challenges, they can't make decisions. Very, very, very difficult. They know everything, but they are stuck. They have a lot of mood swings. They act very helpless. They're not, but they act very helpless. Sometimes if triggered very badly, they're abusive, because once they open their mouth, they will let fly anything, any word at any time in a very blunt manner. And basically they're not happy inside. If you look at the critical brain, I showed you the unhappy smiley. So this is how they would have tone between the positive and the negative, and they don't know what to do. The next slide. This is the seventh mindset or the personality type, which is the connecting one. So these are people who can connect ideas beautifully, one idea to the next, to the other next. So they create a whole story in their head. They have a whole lot of a belief system that they evolve from childhood to where you are today. So, you know, something that happened deep down in your childhood would also be part of your thought process and belief system that you work on over a period of time. And what you are today is based on the past experiences and all the stories that you have told your own mind to think is true, because that is your perspective. So these people are very caught up in immersed in their own thoughts. They have a fixed mindset because they feel that if this happens, then this only happens, then that only will happen. So they're stuck in that wheel of their thoughts, and they can either get sucked down or they can get sucked up. Okay, but they're very emotional and a perfectionist and a researcher mindset. Next slide, you'll see all that. So if you look at the spiral, you will see how their thought flow happens. So they connect things, they have a strong belief system, perfectionist to the core, systematic, a researcher, and they're very orderly, methodical kind of people because they believe that anything should happen in that flow. But the challenges are that they are overly expressive because once they start talking, they can't stop. You stop them in the middle, they'll go back to the beginning and come back again. They're very emotional. Tears will come to their eyes, especially if it's women. Tears will come to their eyes immediately. They cannot be reasoned with because they are stuck in their thought process. They will say, no, this is only right. They're prone to depression. They're also susceptible to OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And sometimes they could also be suicidal because they are trapped within their own mindset. The last mindset is the focused person, a person who is very target oriented. They have to win. Achievement is important. Success is important. Okay, they are very impatient because they want things very fast. They have to set goals and they have to achieve it immediately. So when you block them, when there's a hurdle for them, they find it very difficult to take any block. So they will either show anger outward by shouting, screaming, fighting, throwing things around, or they would show the anger inward where they would start, self-pity, self-blame, nobody loves me. So it will be like hitting themselves. There are people who have self-harm because they can't hit the outside world, they hit themselves. So these are the 8. Okay. The pros and cons, these people are fast achievers, focused, goal-oriented. They will win at any cost. So they are people who will get the ranks, get the medals, get the goals. They are held in very high esteem in the public. But then what happens is that if they fail, if they cannot hold that position for too long. So when there is competition and they somehow reduce whatever level they are in, then you find that they have irritation, they can't make mistakes, they can't bear making a mistake. They are not objective. They can't see the bigger picture. So what happens? They can only see the small dots in life. And so they mess up their brain with those dots. So when you see that target over there, they can focus on the goal and get to that target, or they can focus on us, on human beings, and hurt people equally badly. So that's the pros and cons. Anger is a big issue for them. If you go to the next slide. Okay. Now, you have to understand that our mindset, these are sets which your mind is already fixed with, and you can't change it because no matter what, you would get back to this style of thinking. So you have to understand of these 8, which is the most dominant nature, the one personality type which you feel is the most predominant. See, because you see the negative kind of people, the critical person in you, that would obstruct your work. But when you are actually behaving with people, you could be the holistic brain where, you become the escapist. So which is the strongest one in you, you have to identify. And second, what is the subordinate nature? There are other people within you, like you say, split personalities. There are other mindsets which you could have within you, but all those qualities have to apply. You can't just say, I have one or two of those qualities. If all qualities apply only, you have the mindset. Okay. And third point you have to understand is that there are situational triggers. Now, each one of these, at the right time, each one gets triggered differently. For a secretive brain, they would pile, and then trigger off some other time, not at when they actually face a problem. The imaginative would always, in their delusional thoughts, that I don't know when they will surface for them to understand and to get triggered. The holistic brain would rather escape rather than face the problem. The critical brain would rather give back 2 or 3 words and become bad, because that blunt truth people can't take. Then when you see the intuitive person who would just spontaneously, impulsively act and then regret, oh God, why the hell did I do this? Then you have the analytical brain who would see 360-degree but stuck because they can't make the best decision. Then you have the connecting brain who is like so emotional and caught within the trap of their own minds that they can't do anything about it. And the focus brain who has to win, and if they fail, they can't take it. So all these are triggers, different triggers for each mindset. It's very, very important to first understand who do we belong to? Why are we facing problems in life? Because when you talk about mindfulness, it is very important to also understand where your triggers are coming from. What is going to hit you? How can you be in the present when the present itself is a trigger to you? So it's very, very important to first be aware of who you are, most importantly. Next slide. The whole intention, just a brief of the company that we've started in Feb. Mind Avenues, potential systems, because we all have so much of potential. And that's a system that we are working on. And our mind itself is a beautiful system where we have worked on knowing yourself, and that knowing your inner self is your inner mind map. So you once this website is launched, I will share the link. So we all have to be aware of what is our inner mind map, what is our inner configuration, and what is our predisposition. Okay. Then we have so many avenues in the mind. We can rewire our brain so beautifully. But first we should know where the wiring is. How are we connected? How are we wired? And then we can know how to rewire the brain. And it's very important to channelize our potential. So though each one of those mindsets that you have is has negative and positive, but you can use that as a potential rather than let it become a challenge to you. So it's how you use this personality type that you have, or this mindset. And we are working only on making people follow the path to positive transformation. We want everyone to be happy and transform, grow, and develop. No one should be left behind. Everyone should go together, each one at your own pace, but each one in your own path. Everybody need not take the same path, because each one are designed to travel a unique journey on our own. Next slide. Understanding, this is just a base of all the inner mind map configuration. What I've given you is just the 8 mindsets. So if you look at it, you must understand, why am I the way I am? Because you are the way you are. Why am I not the way I am? Because we want to, when we look in the outside world, we want to become someone who we are not. But we need to accept who we are first. And how can I be the way I want to be? So maybe I would like your style, her personality, this person's way in dealing with people, this person's way in dealing with a problem, different things. So we can become who we want to be, provided we first know who we are. That's the crucial. Next slide. So it is very important when you are wanting to develop a positive mindset, when you want to grow, you must first be aware of who you are. Once you are aware of who you are and your predispositions and your mind configuration, then you can work on self-realization to know, oh, this is why I am like this. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just that this is one type of a mindset. And when you understand which mindset you are, and then you say, no, I'm not going to let this take over me. So let me change and transform in this way. Then comes transformation. So this process of awareness to realization to transformation is very, very, very important. So I have tried to rush through the presentation, because more than the actual presentation, I think the discussions would be more important, because I'm sure that each one of those slides would have triggered you in different ways. And I think it would be lovely if you could have more of interaction rather than just a one-way dialogue of me talking. So if you could close the sharing, yeah. Now the house is open to all the participants. If each one could come up with whatever kind of blocks they feel they have, or identify with one of those kind of mindsets, we could come out with ways to overcome this.
Yeah, hi, this is Kalpana here.
Yeah, Kalpana.
Actually, as I was listening to you, I found intuitive personality suited me the best. What I suffer from is, of course, anxious mindset, because, you know, even before it spirals down, I get the vibe that the spiraling has begun, or it will spiral down within no time. That causes me a lot of anxiety, and I find myself overcompensating to ensure that my intuition is either proven wrong, or such a circumstance which my mind has warned me doesn't arise. And that causes a lot of mental trauma to me.
Yes.
How do I cope up? Thank you.
First thing you have to understand is intuition is not what you think or what you want to think. It's happening. It's a divine gift. So when you are receiving the intuition, maybe it's giving you a warning, maybe it's preparing you, maybe it's telling you. We don't know. So when you are receiving, you have to learn to accept it the way it comes. Over a period of time, you can think about, is it useful, not useful? Is it productive? Or is it only here to sabotage my mind?
Okay.
So
because
when
you don't have
Bindu
the logistics to support your thoughts, you do, you know, if you tell it to someone, they ask logistics. Yes. And it's just not explainable logically, you know.
You are just divine, so accept the divinity. And like Bindu was talking about mindfulness, how you need to be aware of the present situation you are in. And why did this flash just happen? Because what happens is, when you are intuitive, you receive the signal, but then what you do is you put it into your stupid brain. Then you overanalyze it, and then you mess up.
Yeah.
When you just receive it as if it is a message to you by God, accept it, and see the pattern of thoughts that happen. Right. Don't try to control it, because we mess it up only when we control it.
Great. Thank you.
And you are predicting what could possibly happen. So because of the speed of your brain would be running into the future or connecting to the past. You're neither there or here, and you're not in the present. So mindfulness happens when you're in the present.
Yes, it fishes out, you know, all the past experiences, and I try to connect these experiences with what I am going to experience, and how do I cope up with it.
You're just messing your head.
I know.
Just feel privileged that you are able to receive this intuition, which we don't. So we are jealous of you. So you are privileged.
I was thinking of people who are focused, you know. No mess up in the head.
See, if you understand karma, I shouldn't go into that. But when you understand karma, each one of us have our own journey.
Yeah.
So when we understand, we are trying to compare ourselves with somebody else. But when you look at your journey and where you're supposed to go and what you think is your path, you go for your path. Don't try to mess up looking at people. Don't try to overpredict. We're just, because our brain is too fast, it's running. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. That helps. Thanks a ton.
Thank you. Anyone would like to share? What did you feel was the most dominant mindset that you have? Anyone? Maybe it's a bit too personal, or they don't want to reveal too much about themselves. Okay, I'll ask you another question. Did it connect to you? Just yes or no?
Yes.
A lot of okay, it connected to you. Is there any doubts about whether that kind of mindset should continue, or do you want to change? See, because I'm asking you questions so that you look within yourself. Suppose, for example, okay, if you don't want to share, if it is the secretive mindset, so these are people who are these are people who are within themselves. Okay, could you just tell me of how many secretive mindsets are there? Does anyone feel they belong to the secretive mindset?
Yeah, we request all the audience over here to please participate. You can either chat in the chat box, or you
just
can
just one letter word, just to say that it's connecting to you.
Yeah, it would be great if it's a two-way communication.
Yes. Otherwise, I could have continued talking nonstop. I can even continue now, but I would rather,
And everything will remain a secret. Don't worry. Yeah, because we have a mind doctor. It being said that in front of the doctor or a lawyer, you should not hide anything. So please.
Yeah, but not in public, because nobody likes to reveal their thoughts.
Not in public. Okay, right. Absolutely. I agree.
Kalpana was broad-minded enough to share that because.
Yeah, because this anxiety, depression, and I sit and wonder whether, how people are going to accept me. I can even tell if someone enters a room with any kind of weird mindset, and I am backing off, and I can't explain to friends around me as to why I am backing off, because I might be taken up as a weirdo, and they ask me, how on earth do you get this? But I just get it. And so I feel such a misfit,
So that escapist mindset also could be, you could have had a lot of that holistic mindset, which would also make you have a combination of them. So,
okay,
the spiraling effect, the intuitive effect, and the holistic effect of understanding the picture and wanting to back off.
Yes.
Could all be happening simultaneously.
Yes.
That is such a wonderful concept, madam. Like in my session, someone had a question of why they behave in that manner or how to deal with them, something like that. They had questions. So this so clearly explains why someone behaves in some way, because of that criteria, that distinctive mindsets. I had a quick question, like, did people fall in one mindset only, or could they be like 2, 3 together?
In all, 2, 3, they could have everything also. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I felt, at least, like holistic. Then maybe a little bit of that secretive also. Like that, I could connect to that point here, that point there, like that.
Yeah, but if it is little bit of points, it's not totally you.
Dominant.
It is that when you have all those qualities, then it is you.
Then it is that. Okay, fine. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I have to connect Bindu's session with this session, and suppose we look at the critical mindset. So this is a person who is only out of the box thinker, wanting to be different, hates to be normal, wants to stand out unique. So naturally, life will not be like that. So for such a person, if Bindu says, be in the moment, that would be aggravating them. Because in the moment, they don't like the moment they are in. So again, the mindfulness should also be on,
yes.
I think, I mean, I missed your entire session. So I don't know. So each one of these mindsets should have a different technique of mindfulness, which will make them overcome their innate mindset and also work on getting to where they want to be.
Exactly.
See, the analytical mindset.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that particular persona really fits my daughter. The critical thinker, she wants to be unique, she wants to be different, and it takes her very long to take decisions. And once she takes a decision, and if it goes wrong, okay, you didn't guide me well. So the blame game begins. So that is one thing I could really relate to. But she still is a very good out-of-box thinker. That is one strong point of her that is very visible throughout her life. But the
But she can't take failure. She can't take failure.
She can't.
She can't take one small comment.
Yes.
So she,
yes.
See, I'm just trying to make you all aware that this is the mindset that they are inherently having. It's a set mind. So to change that set is very tough. So we need to understand people from that perspective. So all those participants here, even in your day-to-day life, no matter what you belong to, when you're dealing with people, you also need to understand who fits into what. So when you're dealing with a person, suppose it's a focused person, he's like fast, wanting the job done. Those kind of people you should know how to deal with. You can't blame them and say this guy is wanting, he's too fast and too achievement oriented and he will not achieve success or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sorry.
But even focused people, I have come across many, I feel that they don't have the long-sightedness, They want the results so quick and so
I think Madam got dropped off. Let us just give her a minute to join back.
Yeah, sure. We'll wait for her to join back.
I think something happened on her screen. She must have clicked leave.
Yeah, correct. And maybe if you have any questions, if you don't want to come on screen and ask the questions, you can please type it on the chat.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Yeah.
That's fine.
No problem.
So,
I just have a question about the focused people. I find that their goals, because they want immediate results, they are not long-term thinkers.
No.
And
that's why I said they're only focused on the dot, not the big picture.
Okay.
So that becomes a big issue. How do we
cope up with different personalities? Can you just give a small tip? Because that will make us more accepting of different personalities.
Great.
As
Wonderful.
well as help us in communication and to get along well,
So when we're talking about developing mindsets, so the secretive brain needs to stop being in the safe place. I compare them with the tortoise and I say, why do you want to hide? Go forward, face it. Because the more you learn, the more problems you face, the more you're learning. If you're successful, then you're only developing an ego for yourself. But when you fail, every failure is teaching you some lesson. It's making you a better person. But people don't want to fail.
Yeah.
So the secretive brain wants to be in the safe zone. The focused person wants to win immediately. So by winning immediately, what happens? You just get a big fat head thinking, I am so great, ego. But failure, especially for the analytical mind, even like your daughter, you said, analytical or critical mindset, unless they fail, they will not look at another perspective.
Yeah.
So the mindset, it is so important for you to look at a multi-perspective approach rather than get stuck in your fixed perspective, which makes you feel pain.
Yeah.
See, we are meant to feel pain. Our brain is responsible for all the pain we have. So unless we are able to go beyond that, then we start learning, growing. Then we start becoming any one of those mindsets. See, if you decide, I want to be a focused brain.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my own example. I'm a holistic brain mindset, and I want to be a focused mindset. So I have learned how to incorporate all the qualities of the focused mindset into my life.
Okay.
Yes, someone is raising their hand. Would they like to speak?
We have Mercy over here. She would like to ask a question. Mercy, you can go ahead, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Vijayalakshmi, thanks for this beautiful session. What I wanted to understand is that, is our mindset influenced by our past experiences, especially, when we are brought up as a child till our journey as an adult. Does our experiences shape our mindset in any way?
Okay. See, first is this is a whole long journey. I've just given you the tip of the iceberg of my theory. But this is not because of early experience, but because of your genetics. So you inherit this from your parents. Both mother, father, a combination of them makes you who you are. So when you have a particular mindset which you are born with, from childhood, as you grow through life, all those experiences will affect you based on the mindset you have. It is not the experience, the same experience would have different meaning for different mindsets. So you must understand how have you looked at the situation, because there's a 360-degree angle to any situation, but each mindset would receive it differently. So our perspectives are influenced by our mindset, which is our personality type, which we show through our different traits. So through the traits, we can understand our type. Once we understand our personality type, we understand our mindset. And we know that this is where we are rigid, where we are unconsciously programmed to go in that particular thought of way of thinking. Now, once you are aware of this and you realize that it's not doing you any good, if you learn how to change the route, definitely you can get out of it. But it needs a lot of willpower, because unless you decide this is not good for me, I don't want to be like this, that is the day you start changing. That willpower is the turning point. I hope that answered your question, Mercy.
Yeah,
thanks.
Thank you. We have two more questions in the chat box. So one
I'm
is...
sorry, I didn't get the chat box because I...
That's fine. I can read it out.
And logged in. Yeah,
That's
please tell me.
So the question is from Nishit. He says, is any mindset good, or every mindset is God-gifted?
I won't say God-gifted, because that is our karma. So we created our own mindset. We are born with that mindset because that is the path we have to follow. Whether we suffer or we enjoy is because of our mindsets. And we have to just receive it as the divine gift, but it is of our own making. We have to lie on the bed that we make. If you go into the karma theory, you would find answers to it. But again, I don't want to become, in one particular path. So I just say our journey, our destiny. And since you are born with this and you have to work your way through it, learn how to make it a potential. Look at the strong points. Don't look at how it is causing pain to you, but look at how it could become your strength. Then everything is the divine gift.
Perfect. Well said. Thank you very much. We do have a second question from Raj Bharat. Yeah. And he's asking, how does change in mindset happen for a person? How does change in mindset happen for a person?
Perfect. Because first, we are the way we are. So we live with our mindset. But when we live in this external world, reality, where different people have different mindsets, there is a clash between our mindset and their mindset. So somewhere we may like their mindset more than ours, or we find that our mindset is not doing something great for us. So only when you decide, I need to change. That's why I said self-awareness is the turning point. The day you realize what you want, what you don't want, that is the day when you make a decision, a resolution. And when you make a resolution, change happens. You can become whoever you want to be, but you have to decide to become that.
You need to have that inner passion that, yes, I need to do.
Oh, inner drive. That's willpower. Willpower.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. We have another question. Last question. We are coming to the end of the session. How do we shift our mindset in instant so we can adapt fast as we need to, agile in the VUCA world?
What is VUCA? I don't know. Okay. Finally, he's just talking about how we can adapt. So unless we are aware of what are our problem areas, the challenges that we're facing, the minute you realize, like for example, the critical mindset. So they're always looking at finding faults, trying to see how everything is different. They want to, be more judgmental. So they realize that because of this, they're losing friends. People don't come close to you because of your blunt truth statements. So then you have to be aware, yes, this is my point where people are moving away. So next time I meet someone, I should say, keep my mouth shut, don't air my views, need to be blunt and truthful. Yeah, he's given some comment, volatile uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Oh my God.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you so
very
much.
famous,
Yes.
yeah, short form.
It's a new word that I learned. Yeah, thank you.
So I will request everybody to fill in the form here, the 3 best learnings which you will be applying in your life for another 15 days. We will get back to you in another 15 days as we have learned and what changes you have brought in yourself regarding this understanding and developing of mindset. So we'll take a minute's time. I request everybody to fill in the form, please. Thank you. And by the time, if anybody has any questions, you can pour your questions into the chat box. I'll be ready with it. We can take one more questions looking into the time.
I would first say a piece of advice for everyone here. Look into your life and see what is it that you like about yourselves, what is that you want to make. And then when you go through these different mindsets, then you would understand, try to correlate yourself, each one of the 8 mindsets, and try to work on identifying what are the specific areas you want to work on. Yes, Mr. Ramesh has passed a comment. I have a book on the subject. We'll see if I can find it. Sure. Thank you. I mean, whatever I've spoken is just extempo based on my research. I have of the session. I'd like to thank Bindu for introducing me to the group again, and this whole group for having me here. I would love more questions, but can be contacted directly or through the feedback form that we have. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very much, Dr. Damera. It was an amazing session. Yeah, I'm not raising your hand. Do you have any questions?
No questions. I just wanted to throw. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Each one of us need to thank you and DTM, Bindu, Chinta for giving us such great insights. I think I would know everything about mindset, but today I came to know I know nothing about mindset. So I need to ponder on all these 8 things, and definitely I will get in touch with you, Dr. Damera, since I need to learn anything more about mindset. I'll be to the others. So it was amazing, and we will.
Bindu and I will work on it together.
Yeah, you can collaborate together and get a new
yes.
New for us for the next session. I would like
so
to share your certificate. Just give me a moment. And we can. Thank you very much. Yeah. So thank you very much. Yeah, thankful to you. In the future, we request you to please come and meet us with our Raj. Thanks, Raj, for arranging this. Thank you. I would like to pass on the mic to Raj. Thank you. Raj, are you there? Fine. I think go to you, Raj. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for this beautiful session, and I'm very sure that this has created a lot of learning for everyone who attended this session and for their personal growth, for their mindset growth, for their personal growth, and they will find such beautiful insights. So once again, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.